Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on one of the most powerful fields out there right now, data science. We're going to dive in and see exactly how we take a massive flood of raw numbers and turn it into actual, useful knowledge. So let's get right to it.
So let's just start with a number, 2.5 quintillion bytes. I mean, it's a number so big you can't even really picture it, can you? Well, that is the insane amount of data that we as a planet generate every single day. And that number is just getting bigger.
And this brings us to a really important question. We are literally swimming in an ocean of data. But by itself, that raw data is just, well, it's just noise. It's kind of like having a library with 1 billion books, but absolutely no card catalog. So the real question is, how on earth do we find the stories hidden inside all of that?
To really get the answer, we first have to understand the problem. I mean, the sheer scale of this data explosion is a super recent thing. It wasn't that long ago that we were storing our most important information on floppy disks. The crazy evolution of technology created this tidal wave of data that demands a totally new way of thinking.
And this data isn't some abstract thing happening in a server farm somewhere. Nope, it's being generated by us, all day, every day. Just look at this. It's from our smart homes and our cars, the whole Internet of Things. It's from every single post, every chat we send on social media. And it's from our daily habits, like our Google searches or the routes our GPS plans for us. We're all contributing to this digital flood constantly.
So, how do we make any sense of all this chaos? Well, this is where our hero enters the story. Data science. It's the field that was literally created to find the signal in all of that noise. When you boil it all down, the definition is actually pretty simple and elegant. Data science is all about the process of taking that raw, messy data and turning it into useful insights that can help us solve really complex, real-world problems. It's not just about crunching numbers. It's about solving puzzles.
In this quote, this really gets to the practical heart of it. For any business out there, these hidden insights are pure gold. They let companies understand what their customers actually want. They can predict what's coming next, and they can make these incredibly smart, data-driven decisions that can be worth millions or even billions of dollars.
I absolutely love this analogy because it is just so perfect. When a data scientist gets handed a tough question, they don't just, run a program and call it a day. No, they become a detective. They're investigating leads, they're looking for clues, and they're piecing together all these hidden patterns inside the data to tell a story.
And of course, every good detective has a process, right? A method to the madness. And data scientists are no different. So let's walk through the step-by-step process they follow to crack the case and find those incredibly valuable insights.
Okay, so first up is data exploration. This is where our detectives get the lay of the land, just looking for any initial patterns or things that seem off. Then comes what is often the hardest, most time-consuming part of the whole job, data wrangling. This part is so critical. It's the grunt work of cleaning up messy, incomplete data to make sure their foundation is rock solid. Once that data is clean, then they can move on to the cool part, data modeling. This is where they use things like machine learning to build a predictive model. Think of it like this. They're creating a system that learns from all the past data to make a really good guess about the future, like what sales will look like next quarter. And finally, they have to evaluate and optimize that model, testing it over and over to make sure its predictions are accurate before they unleash it on the real world.
All right, enough with the theory. The best way to really understand just how powerful this process is to see it in the real world. So let's look at a couple of fantastic and maybe kind of surprising examples of data science in action. This is a classic story, and for good reason. So by digging through their sales data, Walmart analysts found something really weird. Right before a hurricane was about to hit, sales of strawberry Pop-Tarts shot up by 7 times. I mean, who would ever connect those two things? But the data didn't lie. So they started stocking Pop-Tarts right at the front of the stores before big storms, and boom, they met this weird customer demand and saved millions in potentially lost sales. That is the power of finding hidden patterns.
Now here's an example that I bet you've probably interacted with this week, maybe even today. You know that feeling when Netflix recommends the perfect show for you? Yeah, that's not magic. That is some of the most sophisticated data science on the entire planet at work.
I mean, really, Netflix's whole business model is built on its recommendation engine. It analyzes everything, what you watch, when you pause, what shows you abandon after 10 minutes, all to build this incredibly detailed profile of what you like. The goal? to serve you up the perfect next show to keep you hooked and, more importantly, to keep you subscribed. And it's not just Netflix. For companies like Amazon, a very similar recommendation engine drives more than a third of their total revenue. It's huge.
Okay, so here's the crucial takeaway. This stuff isn't just something that big corporations are doing in a back room. Data science has a direct and pretty profound impact on our daily lives, a lot of times in ways we don't even see.
Just think about your day so far. The route your GPS suggested to avoid traffic, the specific ads you saw on social media, the spam filter that hopefully kept your inbox clean. You are constantly, all day long, interacting with systems that have been built and fine-tuned by data science. It's like the invisible architecture of our modern digital world. So, to wrap it all up and put a bow on it, we live in a world with this massive, massive ocean of data. Data science is the key. It's the map and the compass we use to navigate it. It acts like a detective, finding these hidden connections that help us solve problems, predict the future, and power the very services that basically define modern life.
And that leaves us with one final and I think really important question to chew on. We've seen how data science shapes our world based on the data it analyzes. But who or what is shaping that data in the first place? Definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining me today.